gentlemen, when your numbers drop from 303 to 240, you may still be in a position to form a government, but your invincibility will be challenged. Not just from the opposition, but from your own ecosystem as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is a reality that the BJP has faced repeatedly in the last 3 months. Allies have dictated terms and forced U-turns, and the mothership, that is the RSS, has not held its punches either. Now, in yet another round of shadow boxing between the RSS and Prime Minister Modi, Mohan Bhagwat has publicly scoffed at Prime Minister Modi's remarks to a news channel where he had said he doesn't feel like he was born biologically, but instead was sent by God. At an event in Pune, the RSS chief said, whether we become God or not, the people will decide. We shouldn't proclaim that we have become God. Now, this is being seen as a direct strike at Prime Minister Modi by the RSS once again. Before we go any further, listen in to exactly what Mohan Bhagwat had said.
विद्या विनयन शोभते असं म्हणतात तसं त्या कर्तृत्वाच्या उंचीला ही जी विचारांची खोली आहे ती शोभून दिसते. ती त्यांच्या ठिकाणी होती, सगळ्यांमध्ये नसते, माझ्यासारख्या जवळ नाही. त्याच्यामुळे जास्त दिसायला लागतो लोकांना आणि देवतुल्य महापुरुष वगैरे म्हणतात तेव्हा मला एक क्षण थांबावं लागतं जरा, कारण मला पक्का माहिती आहे मी काय आहे. ते झालं की ते कानाच्या इथूनच परत जावं, मनात येऊ नये याच्यासाठी परिश्रम करावे लागतात. ते त्याच्यापासून वाचलं पाहिजे. आणि म्हणून आपलं जीवन जितकं चांगलं करता येईल तितकं करावं. म्हणजे चमकू नये कोणी असं मी म्हणत नाही. प्रत्येकाने देवभात झालं पाहिजे.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister Modi has been in the firing line of the RSS ever since the BJP failed to garner a majority in the 2024 election. The talk is that the RSS, completely overshadowed by Modi in the last 10 years, is now reasserting itself. Talk also is that the RSS didn't really put its heart and soul in the elections of 2024 like they had done in 2014 and 2019. Question is there trouble brewing in Hindutva heaven between Guru and Shishya, between the star and the mothership? Point is, this isn't the first time Mohan Bhagwat has trained his guns at Prime Minister Modi. Remember when he spoke to Swayamsevaks about not having ghamand? Well, that sentiment and statement was echoed by another senior RSS leader, Indresh Kumar, who said that those who become arrogant were stopped at 240. This hit home as the BJP had clinched just 240 seats, which means they hadn't even managed a majority. Listen in to what Indresh Kumar had said.
जिस पार्टी ने भक्ति की, अहंकार आया, उसको 241 पर रोक दिया, पर सबसे बड़ी बना दी. जिनके अंदर राम की अनास्था थी, अश्रद्धा थी, और उनको सबको मिलकर 234 पर रोक दिया. कहा तुम्हारी अनास्था का यही दंड तुम्हें है कि तुम सफल नहीं हो सकते. इसलिए जो राम की भक्ति करे तो निरहंकार करे, और जो राम का विरोध करे तो उसका अकल्याण अपने आप है, प्रभु नहीं बिगाड़ते. इसलिए लल्लू सिंह उसने जनता के ऊपर जुल्म किए थे. राम जी ने कहा थोड़ी देर 5 साल विश्राम कर ले, अगली बार देख लेंगे तेरा भी क्या करना.
Now, there are many analysts who will say that these arrows from the RSS started raining on the BJP after BJP chief JP Nadda, in a classic kamikaze move, said that the party had grown saksham or self-sufficient and no longer needs the RSS like before. But that might not be the true picture. Sure, it was a statement that cheesed off the Sangh, but there has been an unease between the Guru and Shishya for the last few years. The Modi cult has managed to completely overshadow the Sangh. Brand Modi is bigger than the RSS, and that clearly doesn't sit well with them. They were particularly cheesed off when this election was reduced to Modi ki guarantees, discarding the Sangh's priorities of national security and civilizational issues. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the RSS and the BJP share a parent-child relationship. And well, if there's a family, there will be, as they say, kalesh. There will be friction. After all, let's not forget that it was the RSS that deputed Narendra Modi to, it was actually RSS that deputed Narendra Modi to the BJP in 1985. And then it forced the BJP to make him the Gujarat chief minister, not once but twice, even after the riots. Then in 2014, it was again the Sangh that put its mind behind Modi. But whatever the difference is, even the Sangh knows that he's the best bet for them, despite what is going on. So here's the question this evening. Should we read Mohan Bhagwat's statement as shadow boxing or a real punch? My guest this evening, a quick introduction to all of them. Thank you very much. Uday Mahurkar, he's an author, he's a journalist, someone who has seen the Sangh and the BJP and studied them closely for the last 36 years. Thank you very much for your time. We have Sangeet Radgi, who's a political analyst, who will be speaking on behalf of the RSS. Neeraja Chaudhary ji, just about miking up, senior journalist, someone we always love to speak to. Hi Neeraja ji, and Tehseen Poonawala is an old friend of Mirror Now, joining us on the broadcast, a political analyst. Uday ji, मतलब थोड़ा बहुत तो ठीक था, ये थोड़ा बहुत से ज़्यादा नहीं हो गया पंचिंग?
देखिए, there I know, there are efforts on both sides to mend fences.
हाँ.
Nadda ji went to Kerala for the Samnamay meeting, very
Correct.
well. But things are still not on track. I think today's statement shows that.
Today's statement very clearly you are saying shows that परिवार में सब ठीक नहीं है.
हाँ, अभी ठीक करने के प्रयत्न चल रहे हैं, लेकिन अभी तक ठीक अभी भी थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, ऐसा दिख रहा है आज के स्टेटमेंट के बाद. लेकिन आपकी जो बात है कि शेडो बॉक्सिंग है, क्या है ये, आई विल पुट इट वेरी स्ट्रेट. मोदी कल्ट, ये सब बात ठीक है फॉर एनालिसिस. You see, two things angered RSS as a mother organization. One was the overuse of agencies against opposition only. And two, taking tainted people inside the party and closing cases against them. These two things, I think, RSS thought that dented their ideological, image of the entire Sangh parivar. So this was, I think, something which is at the root of what is happening now.
So you're saying...
And then comes Nadda's statement, of course. Nadda's statement was also add fuel to fire in that sense.
So you're saying that my analysis that brand Modi has managed to overshadow everything, including the RSS in the last 10 years, wasn't a factor at play. Isn't a factor at play when Mohan Bhagwat or Indresh Kumar make the statements that they are making. This is the Sangh resetting itself.
I would go into the immediate reasons. You see,
remember who the father is.
Let us look at it this way. 370, Narendra Modi has removed.
Correct.
Ram Mandir was impossible to think about 10 years ago. Ram Mandir is open now. Correct? So he was implementing Sangh's agenda. So I think we have to go into the immediate provocations. Immediate provocation was these two. Overuse of agencies like ED and CBI against opposition only in the last 2 years particularly. And two, taking tainted people inside and closing cases against them. I think these were the two most provocative things which happened between RSS and BJP, as I look at it as an old-time observer.
Neeraja ji, is that something you agree with?
Look, there are many reasons why the Sangh probably was not very happy, what they call Vyaktivad. And not enough, what they say, not enough importance being given to the organization, more importance being given to the government. And as one of them people said, being filled with yes people, yes men and women, the organization. Of course, they were very unhappy with Mr. Nadda's statement during the course of the elections, where he said that, the organization now was capable enough to take care of its affairs and didn't need any hand-holding by the RSS. But all those things are now, a lot of water has gone down. Ever since that, there have been several meetings between top leaders of the Sangh and the BJP. In Delhi, in Rajnath Singh's house, Mr. Amit Shah, Mr. Nadda met with people on the Sangh side, senior people on the Sangh side. In Palghat recently, at the Samanvay Baithak, again topped. Mohan Bhagwat himself was there and others were there, and Mr. Nadda was there, Mr. B.L. Santosh was there, and this 3-day meeting they came out with very important ideological statements, giving go-ahead to the caste census and saying that things like sub-classification of within the SC/ST reservation should be done by consensus. I mean, those are very important things where I believe the Sangh was almost bailing out the BJP. BJP was cornered on these two issues and was ambivalent in its stand. So all that having happened, then now to get Mr. Mohan Bhagwat to, again talk about, don't treat yourself as God, it's the people who have to judge you. Obviously, you and I and everybody will decode. You cannot say anybody's name has been taken, but we will decode it in the way that there is unhappiness against the leader. Now, why has this happened? And somewhere things are not working out. So this is pressure by the Sangh that if you want us on board, then you have to be mindful of what we want done. And I thought that the main thing that they would want is have a say on who will be the next party president. Now, Mr. Nadda's term had got over in June, but he's still continuing as interim president. But who will be the person? I think there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes parlays on this. So could that be one of the reasons, immediate reasons for this statement, the latest statement that's come from the RSS chief?
There is another bottleneck, I'll just tell you. You see, Sangh wants BJP to appear more, it's still not humble, You see, for example,
every RSS leader has used this one word for the BJP.
No,
how
I'll tell you. I'll put it in the right perspective. You see, after of course, they came to power for the third time, But they got 240 seats, much below their expectation. They did not get even a clear majority.
Correct.
So at least some senior leaders should have said that we will evaluate the results, go into what were the reasons, and take corrective measures. Even that statement has not come from the party. That is also rattling RSS,
Actually, the question I was about to ask you after what Neeraja ji said, if you could quickly answer, beyond a point, does Modi or the BJP even care about what the RSS is saying right now? Does it impact their life in any way? Election तो हो गया खत्म?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं. Election 3 आ रहे हैं ना.
3 आ रहे हैं, हाँ.
ऐसा नहीं. RSS का वर्कर तो वर्कर है. वो वर्कर को कोई दूसरा रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकता.
But is it true that the RSS really didn't put its heart and soul into the 2024 election? Especially in the state of Uttar Pradesh.
Why only RSS? Even BJP workers. Because of these two things.
आपकी बार 400 पार.
नहीं 400 पार नहीं. जो गलतियां की इन्होंने. ओवर यूज ऑफ एजेंसीज, उससे पूरा एलिजिबल प्लान खत्म हो गया ना पूरा. समझो आप. That you see they were wearing a kavach, an armor of credibility. When that goes down, then everything goes haywire, That is what has happened.
Because the allegations that come on the BJP reflect on the Sangh. That's what you're saying. Because it's obviously it's ideological parent.
No, there is no question about it. There is one Sangathan Mantri in every state, and there is one at the central level. So that shows the relationship between RSS and BJP.
Tehseen Poonawala, would you want to come here and analyze from the point of view of the opposition why the RSS is behaving like the opposition?
First of all, Shreya, thank you so much for having me on the show. And hearing Indresh Kumar ji speak today, I am reminded of the words of Rahat Indori ji. तुमसे पहले वो जो एक शख्स यहाँ तख्त नशी था, उसे भी अपना खुदा होने का इतना ही यकीन था. So we all know who he said this for. But look, the larger issue is simply this, and I tend to agree with what Neeraja Chaudhary ji said. This is about right now in the immediate future, the BJP president. We now know that the RSS had a name, a former chief minister from another state who they were looking OBC face at being the chief minister of being the president of the BJP. We know that Amit Shah ji wanted Khattar ji to be the president of the BJP. We know this now for a fact. We also know that Khattar ji had a number of meetings with Amit Shah ji, and what happened, and the RSS put their foot down. So we know this in public domain. We also know the statements that Nadda ji made did cause a lot of ripples, and since then at Rajnath Singh ji's house and other places, there have been several meetings of trying to get the two organizations together. But I, for one, don't really believe that the RSS can stay too angry with the BJP for a long time or vice versa. They both meet each other. So it's a paradox, Shreya. The paradox is never ever has the RSS agenda been fulfilled as much as under Modi ji. Never ever has the RSS become as powerful an organization in all aspects as under Modi ji. Yet the personality of Modi ji and Amit Shah ji is such, and you see this in Gujarat, that even somebody like a Togadia, Praveen Togadia, who was massive before Modi ji became chief minister, is reduced to rubble. Now, I remember this one image during the Shilanyas of the Ram temple, much before the inauguration, where the Bhumi Pujan was taking place and the other pujas was taking place. And I remember the Prime Minister, this is during COVID, sitting on a higher chair and the RSS chief sitting down. And to me, that image was telling that the Prime Minister is on a higher chair. Now, imagery and body language speaks a lot, especially if it's a Ram Mandir. Now, I'm not saying that the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat ji was not there. I'm saying on that stool, the only person sitting on that high stool was Modi ji. The RSS president was down. And I remember reading this and said, look, there will be trouble in paradise. But as opposition, as somebody who doesn't vote BJP, one of the reasons I don't vote BJP is the RSS. I am not ready to believe suddenly the RSS is some great organization, suddenly it's a secular organization, suddenly it's a pro-democratic organization. In my opinion, my opposition to BJP comes from the fact that RSS is their parent organization. And I think a lot of us who vote anti-BJP vote because the RSS is the mother organization. So quite frankly, as opposition, whether it's Modi ji or it's Mohan Bhagwat ji or it's anybody, that doesn't matter. What matters is can the opposition now come to government and have all of these NGOs and all of these political parties follow our democracy. I think that's the only question. And we must treat the BJP as a political opponent, just as we must treat the RSS as a political opponent. Don't get fooled by them.
Okay, Sangeet Ragi ji, would you want to come in here? कई लोग ये भी बोलेंगे कि this is a mutually, जैसे तहसीन बोल रहा है, this is a mutually beneficial relationship. Both feed off each other, and the RSS probably has never had better. Look at them right now; they are flushed with funds. झंडेवाला का जो ऑफिस है वो क्या जबरदस्त बन गया है, एकदम वर्ल्ड क्लास बिल्डिंग लग रहा है वो. आपके पास RSS के पास एक्सेस है इंस्टीट्यूशंस से, वाइस चांसलर्स से, अपने अपॉइंटमेंट्स करवा रहे हैं, आपको सरकार में कंप्लीट और मिनिस्ट्रीज में कंप्लीट एक्सेस है. तो you may have disagreements with Modi and the way the BJP is going and their quote-unquote command, but honestly, you know that the RSS knows that he is the best bet for them.
First of all, I think that media and opposition is reading too much into the statements of Mohan Bhagwat. The statement is of very generic nature. And everybody says that when you are in the, it is taught, every single Swayamsevak is taught in the primary of the Sakha that don't try to, celebrate your posture, celebrate your name in public domain. You just have to be a very silent worker in the system. And you have to do the work for the nation. That's the basic thing that is taught to all the members of the Sakha or all Swayamsevaks. And this is in the same spirit, in the consonance with what is taught to the Swayamsevak at the beginning of the Sakha. Probably that is reflected in the statement of Mohan Bhagwat. But since the timing is such that obviously it gives opportunity for the opposition and the other members of the media or the anti-BJP intellectuals to read too much into the statement of Mohan Bhagwat. Remember, RSS and BJP, the ideological foundations to a great extent, they converge. And as rightly talked about by Uday ji, I think that nobody had thought in the RSS also that 10 years ago that Article 370 will go away. Nobody had thought of in we used to play a game. Kashmir kiska hai? Kashmir hamara hai. Right? And people on the Sakha had started saying that we cannot abolish Article 370, whatever we talk, but Narendra Modi did it. Ram temple again was the same issue. So I think that the most of the core ideological agenda of the BJP and RSS was fulfilled by Narendra Modi. Now it comes to leadership.
Okay.
I am a professor of political science and I know that we talk about democracy, but there is always an iron law of oligarchy that works in the system. A leader is not which is led by the masses, a leader is one who leads the masses. And the personality cult is something which governs all the political organizations or even the social organizations. So when Dr. Saab was heading the organization RSS, his personality was entirely different. Param Pujniya Guruji was entirely different. When Sudarshan ji was, you must have heard of that. Sudarshan ji was very critical of the BJP, particularly on the accounts of Swadeshi. So here also you find that there is no criticality in the statements of the Mohan Bhagwat ji or anybody else in regard to the policies of the BJP.
Okay, I think there is someone who disagrees with you here. I think there is someone in the studio who disagrees with you because Uday ji is smiling. Uday ji is smiling and even I am smiling because here's the Prime Minister who goes to a private news channel during campaigning, Uday ji, and says, I feel like, my birth was not biological and the Shakti is divine.
No,
And Mohan Bhagwat says no one should have this God complex.
When efforts are on to iron out the differences, I think today's statement of Sir Sangh ji was slightly out of place. I think it was slightly out of place.
Neeraj ji?
Efforts are on to bridge the gap. Correct? I think Neeraj ji put it in the right perspective. Correct? Nadda ji was there in Sanmoy Bethak in Kerala. So I think he has already spoken strong words in the last 2 months, So I think this was slightly an overreach, I thought.
Neeraj ji, would
You see,
Shreya.
nation is going through a very difficult phase.
Very
difficult phase. You see, the Congress of today is not the Congress of Rajiv Gandhi. It is a Congress which is totally sold out to radical Islamic elements. Nowhere in the history of the Congress, in the last 139 years, Congress was so much in the grip of radical elements as it is today.
अरे कैसी बात कर रहे हैं ये क्या
बिल्कुल आप मेरा डिबेट करिए मेरे से
सर आज नहीं कभी और आज नहीं कभी और I'll let Tessie respond to that.
परिस्थिति बड़ी खराब है समझे ना नहीं आप देखिए ना अरशद मदनी जमात उलमा हिंद वाले he supports Taliban, he supports Rahul Gandhi also. Same Taliban which played a role in Kandahar. So it is for both the organizations. It is very necessary to understand that they have to come together in the larger interest of the nation.
No. The fact is that the RSS also knows this. I think Tessie, I know you want to come in to respond to Uday ji. Only that's not really the subject matter. But for the RSS, it's very simple.
I would just like one line.
Either you become completely. एक minute. But the fact is that for the Congress, for the RSS, the choice is very clear. Either you become irrelevant under a Congress sarkar or you remain relevant and powerful. Maybe you have differences with the BJP, but you'll at least be relevant.
Modi has done a good job of governance. Very good job.
Okay. So,
if you look at the governance...
just let him only speak. Then don't have us, no?
Tessie wants to come in.
There are two issues.
Bolo.
There are two issues out here. One, I don't think the RSS has become irrelevant under the Congress. I mean, the Congress has always helped the RSS grow, and I think that is something that the Congress by nature doesn't really clamp down on organizations. The RSS hasn't become irrelevant. At least it didn't become, in the words of Modi, 70 years of Congress rule. Now let's come to the pertinent point and something that I took objection to. One, for your viewers, is the current Indian government, the current union government, has excellent relations with the Taliban. It has excellent relations with Afghanistan and the Taliban government. This is not the subject of a debate. But you see, this is the problem where I get very uncomfortable the minute you give RSS any sort of leeway. Because what happens with, or their supporters, is they start branding everybody else and they look at their prism of nationalism and they start branding everybody else as anti-nationals, criminals, etc. And I think that's very unfortunate, the language used. The Congress is a nationalist party. I don't think there are any radical elements in the Congress or in the BJP. I think there might be exceptions, people who are loudmouths in every organization. I don't think Prime Minister Modi is anti-India. I think we have to understand there's a political equation happening. It's a paradox. and both need each other to survive. Yet it's a battle of upmanship, and right now the immediate future is the BJP president. That's what these battles are. If you read anything more into it, and therefore say Rahul Gandhi is anti-national, he's in touch with Taliban, I think those are intellectually dishonest statements. I would say even intellectually challenging statements, and I would not expect somebody like Sir to make such statements.
Okay. Mr. Ragi, I'll give you 20 seconds. You wanted to say something, and then the final word to Neeraja Chaudhary.
I just wanted to say that when Prime Minister said that I am destined to do something which probably the God ordained mission, I think that everyone who believes in the Hindu philosophy says the same thing, that I have nothing to do. Now, Bhagavad Gita says that you do just karma, you are destined to do something. And it was in that spirit, since the people do not understand our spiritual texts, or the scriptures have made, you can say that, try to create some kind of a,
Mr. Rathi, let's not question the intelligence of the people of this country, Mr. Rathi. Let's not question the intelligence of the people of this country. They know, I think they completely understood what Prime Minister was trying to say.
No, this was completely
I'm not saying it was right or wrong.
No, it was a complete
but he said what he said.
No, what he said...
But he's not been misquoted. He said what he said.
He said, but different...
Neeraja Chaudhary...
You understand the way you want to understand.
अब भाई आप कुछ बोलेंगे वो चार लोग तो चार अलग चीजें समझेंगे ही ना. Mr. Rathi, you cannot blame the people of this country for understanding what they understood or what the Prime Minister said. But Neeraja Chaudhary, 10 seconds, please tell me if these missives that are coming from the RSS, एक तीर के बाद दूसरा तीर, if it will end after the election of the BJP president, or whether you think this will continue through this tenure, given the fact that brand Modi currently is slightly diminished from 2019, actually greatly diminished from 2019, and the RSS would probably want to emerge from his shadows now.
I think two things. One, Mr. Mohan Bhagwat is a very savvy figure. He is very measured in his words. He's not given to making indiscreet statements. That's what we have seen of him since 2009 when he took over the reins of the RSS. Number two, yes, a weakened BJP has to contend not only with its allies within, it also has to contend within RSS. And RSS needs it, and it needs the RSS. There's no doubt about it. And many people believe that one of the reasons why it's down to 240 tally is because the RSS did not come out in the way it has done in the past elections. Now, it could be complacency. It could be also a desire कि कुछ अंकुश लगाया जाए, to rein the BJP leadership a little bit. It probably didn't want it to lose or anything like that. But these calibrated things don't always work out the way you want to. So, yes, immediate provocation could be who will be the president of the BJP, which is a very critical decision to be made in the coming weeks. But long term also, you know, after all, the BJP is at that 240 figure. So they will have to take on board the RSS's concerns, just as they have to take on board the concerns of its NDA partners.
Okay, Neeraja ji, then in filmy style, what you are saying is, प्यार तकरार चलती रहेगी. We'll keep a lookout at it. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. This was a good chat. Thank you, Sangeet Ragi ji, for being with us. Thank you, Uday ji, for coming all the way to the studio. And thank you, Tehseen Poonawala, for being with us on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's a wrap. Thanks for watching.